But Golden State's not going to give you these opportunities. Skip, they held Golden State to 40% shooting from the field, 24% from the three. That's a game you got to win.
You're up 12.
Yes.
10 and a half minutes
yes.
to go. You were still up 3 pretty late in the game.
Yeah, it was like a minute 40. I think it was a minute 40.
3. Well, both of those instances, you say, close it, close it. Well, it's up to who? I want to tie us to try to get, but he's like 6'1". You know, there's only so much he can create by himself.
They got lazy, Skip. They were still up a basket, and then Steph gets the rebound, and he goes the length of the court, and because they're not in position, he draws the foul, and now all of a sudden they go up 2 because Steph hits both of those free throws.
And I will give Steph big credit because he's been missing some late free throws, and he did not miss.
Well, he was
when he make his last 8.
Yeah, but Skip, he was really awful in the Nuggets series, shooting the free throw.
No,
shooting free throws.
And because you've got some demons lurking in the back of your psyche, I'm thinking, hey, maybe he'll miss at least one. He missed none. Way to go.
But if you think about this team, they scored 39 points in the fourth quarter. They shot 59% from the floor. But the one thing they do, they're not known. They got to the free throw line. Skip, this is a jump shooting team. They don't get to the free throw line shoot, but they say, nah, let's put the ball on the floor, put our head down, let's try to get to the rim, draw some fouls.
Yeah. Do you remember what I've told you again and again about games 5, 6, and 7 of 2016? 2 of the 3 at home, Steph's house.
Yes.
And in those 3 games, in the fourth quarters, he got to the free throw line 0 times.
Right.
0 times in 3 straight fourth quarters. And last night, what did he end up with in the fourth? I think he made
like 8 or 9.
8 or 9.
Yeah.
Okay, so he shot 9 free throws in just the fourth quarter last night.
Right.
And it became the difference in the game.
Skip, I think he didn't really have a choice because his 3-ball wasn't falling. He was struggling. I mean, Steph it's almost like he's thinking about it because Steph he normally just catches the ball and let it go. If you think to watch him skip now, he's taking his time. Like, just let it go, Steph. This you. We're gonna live or die with whatever you do. Shoot 20. If you make 10, fine. If you miss 15, that's fine also. But we want you to stay in rhythm. It seems like he's starting to think about it. And he said, well, the hell with this. I'm putting the ball on the floor. I'm going to the basket. Foul me.
And I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give Steph this. He has dramatically changed his physique fairly late in his career because he looks different to me because he's put on some good weight and some upper body muscle.
Yes.
And listen, Dillon Brooks is a handful.
Yes.
He is a load because he plays physical, up in you defense. And he was wearing on Steph, but Steph, incredibly to me, wore him down and out because in the end, Steph was getting loose on Dillon Brooks, driving the basketball.
Right.
Maybe he was just surprised, like it's almost like ambush shock factor.
Yeah, because the thing is, Skip, Steph got great handles, but you playing him for the 3 because you know he's so quick at letting the ball go.
Yeah.
But he's perpetual motion. All he does is run the entire. Skip, I'm getting tired. I got to worry about Draymond sitting the pick. I got to worry about Loon sitting the pick. I got to worry about Wiggins sitting the pick, and they just back picking the hell out of it, and he's all over the court. And at some point in time, you see Dillon Brooks in the corner with his hands on his knees, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, I got it. So, after I just complimented Steph on his new physicality, I must show one play fairly late in this game, 25.9 seconds left, featuring Desmond Bane. And I just don't know about this call.
He sold it.
But this is a turning point call in the game. Here it is. The ball goes up, and there goes Desmond Bane. And I'm not sure he pushed Steph, but Steph flopped like a madman. Did he really push him? He didn't push him.
But you're talking the moment you feel contact in the back, Skip.
Okay, and the ref is standing right on. Steph falls out of bounds on his face.
Yes.
And I'm like, he didn't push you. And you realize what just happened. Desmond Bane just put the ball back in. With 25.9 left, that would have been Memphis by 1.
Yes.
Memphis by 1. And instead, right out of that, was Steph going to the basket, getting fouled, and making 2 free throws to put Golden State up 3. So that's the turning point of the game with 25.9 seconds left. That's just wrong because and Desmond Bane plays with stoicism, so he never complains. He never does anything. He's like emotionless, but he should have just thrown a fit right there. Like, I didn't push him, but he didn't do anything.
I thought Steph was going to get up and look at the camera. I got him. I got him. Because he definitely got him, Skip.
He got him good. And that's, I'd say that's a pretty big moment in that game,
but Skip, this would have been huge. These are the type of games, Skip. They played well enough to win. These are the type of games that you want to man, we didn't play our best ball game, but we found a way to win. as opposed to saying we played really well and we lost.
Yep.
I don't know. Do you actually think Golden State is going to shoot this bad again from the floor? 40% from the field, 24% from three with those guys that they've got?
Okay,
You've got to find a way to win that game, Skip.
You argue that they played down to the level of the competition because you can't take them seriously.
No, man, they ain't got no job. Man, they can't hang with us. And next thing you know, here you are, you in the fourth quarter, and you in a ball game.
Okay, so we look back on what happened. Game one, Ja's got a chance at the end, and he just didn't cash it.
Right.
And I thought Clay made a really sweet defensive maneuver because they knew the play was coming, that he always, as we know, goes hard left.
What's that left?
And he pushed him out a little too far and a little too deep, and Josh shot his running sort of swoop to the hoop layup too hard and completely over the rim and off the glass.
Right.
Okay, so that's game one. Then game two, they win, but they lose Dillon Brooks for game three, which is a wipeout. And then the whole series is turning on last night, and they just came up too small in the fourth quarter because they don't have a closer.
Right.
So big picture, they didn't have Steven Adams for the first two games because of COVID.
Right.
He was on the COVID list.
Correct.
Then they lose Dillon Brooks for effectively 2 full games.
Right.
And then they lose Ja for last night,
Right.
and I have no idea what his status is going to be going forward to go back for game 5, but I don't like their chances, so I'm going to say it's over and done.
Well, Skip, you know it comes down to playoffs. It's always been about health. And you look at, you mentioned Steven Adams. I mean, he missed a lot of the Minnesota series. And then you get Ja being out, and you get Dillon Brooks, and then you get Steve Kerr.
But then you get Desmond Bane. I don't even know when he did it. Maybe he slept wrong on it or something. But
you can tell the way he's moving. He's moving like he got a hurt back.
Yep.
He's running stiff.
Yeah, stiff. and he can't. He can't beat you off the dribble at all. And so now he's relegated to pure catch and shoot. So they're just smothering him at the three-point line because if you let him get off, he will get off hot.
And we've seen what's going on. We see what's happening in the Milwaukee series. We see what was happening in the Philly series. It's all about injuries. How healthy are you? And if you got guys that are out, how soon can they get back?
Yep.
And the thing is with the Grizz is that they picked the most inopportune. Well, it's not their fault. It's nothing you can do about it. But Ja's injury. You know, he had that knee injury, Skip. He missed, 16, 17 games the last part of the season. And then he gets it tweaked in the playoffs. And it looks like this season's probably going to come to an end because their best player is not going to be able to finish out the series.
Okay, so I'm going to call out Steph one more time. I need to see more. That was pretty good last night against a team that wasn't very good.
Man, that's the second most points he scored in the playoffs in his career. Is 18
in the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter, and you talk about you want to see it
against whom?
Memphis Grizzlies are our playoff team.
No, they're decimated. And that they couldn't put any pressure on him in the fourth quarter. I'm fine with that, but I'm giving it a 2 on the impressive.
A 2?
Yes, it's a 2. It's no more than a 2. And yet going forward, I've told you before, I still haven't recovered from what Steph did to me in 2016 because those last 3 games were horrendous.
This is not about Steph.
Yes,
this is not about Steph. This is about GOAT James. Okay. You wanted him to hold GOAT back. That's what that was.
They had him 3-1. They lose Draymond for game 5.
You an English major?
Yep.
What's the difference between had and has? But we have a championship.
You have a championship thanks to little Steph Curry.
Ain't no such thing to go.
Okay, he was horrendously bad in all 3 of those games, especially in those 3 fourth quarters. And what reminded me of this is that last night he was 4 of 14 from 3, which is exactly what he was in Game 7 at Oracle in the 2016 finals.
Yeah.
4 of 14.
Put that hawk
and then in the fourth quarter, he 1 of 6 from the field and 1 of 5 from 3. And here came LeBron and Kyrie.
That's what we do.
That's what you do?
That's what the GOAT does.
Really?
Got 11 down the stretch. Triple dub.
Really?
Chase down block, the greatest block in NBA history. It's been pegged that, Skip. Now, so you can't go back and try to add a block or add a defensive play. It's greater. It's greater than Havlicek stole the ball. It's greater than anything that you've seen in NBA history. We got it on our resume.
Really? Well, you and JR, he's got it on his resume because he's the one who initiated it because it was a bicycle built for 2.
You're such a hater. You got to let that go.
No, well, it's just a fact because JR cut off Iggy at the pass and forced him inside and then slowed him up. He was going to dunk it. And then he says, well, I guess I got to shoot a layup now. And LeBron swooped in An ambush. It was an ambush block from behind.
Commissioner Gordon put that phone call into it.
He never does it from the front.
Yes, he does.
Straight on.
You remember Tiago Splitter tried to poke on him?
I can out-jump Tiago. I can jump. My feet will go higher off the ground than Tiago's will go off the ground.
Man, you a hater.
Well, it's just the truth. And then Steph turns around and goes into the Toronto series, and he just kept missing shots. He missed one in the closeout game 6 at home to win the game.
Can we come to the conclusion now that a great player is not beating a great team or a really good team? And we're seeing this in the playoffs. We've seen this. Don't take anything away from KD, but the Celtics were a better team. As a matter of fact, let me take something, because Jason Tatum was the best player on the floor. Jason Tatum was the best player on the floor in that series. Am I correct?
In which series?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn? Well, yeah, their defense was the best unit on the floor.
Was Jason Tatum the best player in that series in Brooklyn? It's a simple yes or no question.
I haven't seen a sighting of Jason Tatum until the fourth quarter of last night.
Did you see him last night?
I did, finally, but Al Horford opened that door.
First of all, you saw him in game 2 also. Stop pretending like you didn't see him in game 2.
He was okay, but they were all good in that game. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah. I gave Steph a 9.
Okay, way to go.
I'm glad you guys brought that up because that game was crazy last night. We see you, Al Horford.
Yeah.
Should Giannis, the defending